This prayer didn't reach you by chance. There are moments when the soul perceives a gentle, almost imperceptible call that touches the heart, as if saying, "Stop for a moment. Something greater is happening now." If you are hearing this prayer at this moment, it doesn't matter the reason or the path that brought you here. There is a higher purpose. There is an answer that heaven is preparing. There is a healing, a peace, a restoration trying to find space to enter your life. And today, through the intercession of Saint Carlo Acutis, this miracle can begin to move. Perhaps you are facing pain that no one notices. Perhaps you are tired of carrying everything alone, silently wishing that something would finally change, that a light would shine in the midst of the struggle. Perhaps you are praying for someone you love deeply, someone who urgently needs healing, someone you wish to completely envelop in divine protection and mercy. Whatever weight you carry in your heart, take a deep breath now. You are not hearing these words for no reason. There is a spiritual intention behind this encounter. Before we continue, I need to ask you something important. If this prayer is touching your heart, if you feel it has arrived as a sign, please subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. This isn't just to strengthen this space of faith. It's because every day I prepare a new prayer, made with dedication, intention, and a sincere desire to bless your life. Don't let the messages and blessings that God wants to send you fail to reach you. Subscribe and activate the bell to receive each daily prayer and walk enveloped in the light. Now breathe again and allow a gentle calm to touch your thoughts. Something sacred is approaching. Saint Carlo Acutis, known for his purity, his devotion, and his unwavering faith, became a powerful intercessor for those seeking miracles of healing, protection, and renewal. His life was short, but extraordinarily enlightened. Therefore, his intercession is swift, intense, and filled with the presence of God. At this moment, let us unite our hearts with his. Let us surrender our sorrows, our needs, and our most urgent requests into the hands of the one who dedicated his life to bringing souls closer to divine love. No sincere request goes unnoticed in heaven. When a humble heart cries out, a miracle finds its way. Perhaps you are holding back tears right now. Perhaps you have someone specific in mind who desperately needs healing. Perhaps you are waiting for a better diagnosis, for effective treatment, for pain to finally subside, for peace to return to your life and home. All of this can be placed before God, and today Saint Carlo Acutis intercedes for you. Allow yourself to feel that presence. Allow yourself to believe, even if it's just a little. Faith doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for an opening, a crack through which the light can enter. It is in that opening that the miracle begins. Saint Carlo Acutis, I place myself before you with a humble and sincere heart. I acknowledge my weaknesses, my pain, and all that has weighed upon my soul. I know that you see what no one else sees. I know that you perceive even what I cannot put into words. That is why I come to you, seeking refuge, seeking clarity, seeking a touch from heaven through your intercession. I also acknowledge that I have carried internal battles for a long time. Physical pain, mental wounds, profound spiritual weariness, painful memories, recurring fears, uncertainties that rise like mountains. Saint Carlo, you who lived with purity and complete trust in God, I ask you, be by my side now. Look upon me as someone who urgently needs healing, not just physical, but complete. Touch the weary places of my soul, the forgotten corners, the wounded spaces that I no longer know how to restore. Open pathways in the spiritual, emotional, and physical realms. Let what was stagnant begin to flow again. Let what was dark receive light once more. Let what seemed impossible begin to transform. Saint Carlo, touch also my deepest intentions. I entrust to you every worry, every pain that tries to steal my peace, every fear that tries to paralyze my life. I entrust diagnoses, symptoms, illnesses, and everything that weakens me or someone I love, even what I cannot express, you know. intercede for me before the Lord. May heaven manifest itself now. May divine light envelop every part of my being. May God's grace, through your intercession, descend upon me like a restorative balm. Stay with me, Saint Carlo. Do not turn away. Walk with me in this prayer. Touch the invisible, what no one perceives, what needs immediate healing. I cry out for healing, for restoration, for renewal, for that which only God can do, but which He pours out through those who love Him. And so I rest in your hands, certain that you present my requests before the Lord with love and compassion. I believe in healing. I believe in miracles. I believe that nothing is lost when heaven moves. And today, through your intercession, I ask that this movement begin now within me and around me. Saint Carlo Acutis, as I stand before you in spirit, I feel my soul slowly opening, as if the divine presence finds space where before there was only silence and weariness. Continue interceding, for there are areas of my life that need to be touched by God's mercy. May grace reach not only what is visible, but also what I hide from myself, consciously or unconsciously. There are pains I've learned to carry as if they were part of me. Today, I surrender them all. I surrender every weakness, every instability, every thought that tries to extinguish my hope. I surrender the sleepless nights, the fear of the future, the weight of the past, the insecurities of the present. I trust that you take all of this before God with a clarity that I lack. I also ask that you place a special protection upon me, a spiritual covering that envelops my body, my mind, and my spirit. May every root of illness be uprooted. May all heavy energy be undone. May all emotional or spiritual disturbance be dissolved in divine light. May no affliction find a place, for I am under your intercession and under the mercy of the Almighty. Saint Carlo, you saw the world with purity, even in the face of difficulties. Teach me to look at my life with that same purity. Teach me not to despair in the face of the impossible. Keep the flame of faith alive within me. Ignite a light that never goes out, a firm confidence, a serenity that does not depend on circumstances. I place before you all that is fragile within me, the diagnosed illnesses and those yet to be named, the physical, emotional, and spiritual pain, old wounds that have not yet healed. Take everything to the Lord and ask for me what I myself am not yet able to ask for. I know there are gentle cures, like a passing breeze that restores, and I know there are quick, intense, and surprising cures. I ask that God perform in me the miracle He knows I need, whether it be discreet or grand, but that it happens according to His will. Saint Carlo, stay with me in this prayer. Do not let my faith weaken. Do not allow anxiety to take over my heart. Do not let pain speak louder than the voice of God. Strengthen me, sustain me, illuminate my thoughts. I surrender my weariness and receive your intercession. I remain here with an open heart, waiting for God's touch that comes through your presence. May healing deepen now, reaching where my hands cannot. May the impossible begin to be broken. May the improbable begin to be prepared. May the distant begin to draw near. Saint Carlo Acutis, I stand before you with reverence. I feel something within me beginning to reorganize itself, as if heaven were moving what was still. I continue because I know that healing begins within the soul, in the silence of the heart that decides to believe again. Touch, Saint Carlo, the places where fear hides, the fear of losing, of getting sick, of not getting better, of never being enough, of nothing changing. Intercede so that these fears may dissolve in the presence of God, being replaced by confidence, peace, and the certainty that the Lord never abandons those who seek Him sincerely. I also surrender the thoughts that have been too heavy, the thoughts that drain me, that confuse me, that weaken me, I ask that you, by the grace that God has granted to your spirit, bring clarity where there is confusion, serenity where there is turbulence, truth where there is emotional falsehood. May every thought that does not come from God be removed gently but firmly, and may my mind once again be a place of rest and not of constant struggle. Saint Carlo Acutis, look also upon the people who are part of my life and who urgently need healing. I present each name, even those I only think of and do not pronounce aloud. I present those who are hospitalized, those who are undergoing treatment, those who face difficult diagnoses, those who suffer in silence, those who no longer have the strength to pray. Intercede for them all. May God's restoration reach not just one person, but an entire chain of lives connected by love, faith, and the need for a miracle. I ask that you also touch that which is not physical, but weighs just as heavily. Relationships that need to be restored, emotions that need to be balanced, doors that need to be opened, paths that need to be cleared. I ask that the Lord, through your intercession, organize what is chaotic, renew what is worn out, revive what is extinguished. Saint Carlo, I know that healing often begins where no one sees it, in our intentions, our thoughts, our feelings, in the way we look at ourselves and at life. So I also entrust to you the way I have been seeing myself. Heal what is distorted within me. Heal the way I have interpreted my pain, my struggles, and my failures. Heal every feeling of worthlessness, every feeling of abandonment, every impression that I am alone or without a way out. Restore in me the certainty that God sees me, knows me, and cares for me. I ask you to stay with me as this prayer deepens. May you remain by my side as I surrender myself more and more to what God wants to do. Do not allow my heart to be distracted or closed. Do not allow me to give up before seeing the fruit of this intercession. Sustain me, protect me, embrace me, lead me closer to the healing that comes from above. And as I remain here in inner silence, I ask that divine light continue to descend slowly upon me, like a gentle oil that heals, purifies, and restores all that it touches. Saint Carlo Acutis, as I continue in prayer, I feel as if a sacred silence begins to envelop my every thought. It is as if heaven itself is leaning down to hear what my heart tries to say, even when my words are imperfect. And that is why I remain here speaking to you, trusting in your purity, your love for God, and your ability to intercede for those who cry out sincerely. There are areas within me that still resist healing, not because they don't want to be restored, but because fear, doubt, or exhaustion have taken deep root over time. Therefore, I ask you, enter these areas with the light that God has granted you. Illuminate what is dark, undo what is confused, calm what is agitated. May every thought that brings me unease be dissolved by the divine presence you carry. I entrust to you, Saint Carlo, all my inner battles, those that no one knows about, but that shape my days and weigh upon me like invisible chains. Battles against insecurity, battles against sadness, battles against feelings of inadequacy, battles against the pain that insists on remaining. I ask you to present each one of them before God, so that He may pour out His mercy upon that which I cannot transform alone. I also ask for my health, for every cell, every emotion, every breath. May my body be strengthened where it is weak. May my system be balanced where it is unbalanced. May my heart be calmed where it is restless. May my thoughts be cleared where they are heavy. May everything that tries to weaken me be removed by divine force. May everything that tries to bring me down be defeated by the light of God that works through you. Saint Carlo, you deeply understood that God acts in silent, delicate, and perfect ways. Help me to trust in this action, even when I don't see immediate changes. Help me not to give up while the miracle is being prepared. Help me to keep my hope alive, even if my body or mind says otherwise. May my faith be greater than my pain. May my trust be stronger than my fear. I also place before you the people I love who need healing. Every name, every face, every situation that worries me. I present them all to you because I know your intercession reaches places where my hands cannot. I ask that you envelop these people in God's light, protecting, strengthening, and restoring each one of them according to divine will. And as I make this offering, I feel something already beginning to move. It may be something small, almost imperceptible, but it's real. It may be a gentle peace, a slight relief, a breath of hope that returns after a long time. And I know that this comes from God, through you, Saint Carlo. That is why I continue, confident, faithful, and surrendered. Allow my soul to delve even deeper into this prayer. Allow my faith to expand, my trust to strengthen, and my heart to find rest in God's merciful love. Lead me to a place where healing is not only possible, but inevitable, where restoration is not only desired, but certain, where peace is not only promised, but lived. I remain here, open, present, confident. Stay with me, Saint Carlo. I have not yet finished my plea. Saint Carlo Acutis, as my soul remains open before this sacred presence, I feel as if each word spoken here begins to find a space within me that was previously dormant or wounded. There is a gentle, almost invisible movement that makes me realize that heaven truly listens when someone cries out sincerely. And so I continue, because I know you are with me in this prayer, uniting your faith with mine and bringing to the Lord all that weighs on my heart. I ask that you now touch all areas of my life that need to be aligned and restored, not only the evident pains, but also the silent imbalances, those that erode hope without making a sound. Touch my emotions, especially those trapped in tension or fear. Touch my mind, freeing it from thoughts that drain my energy and steal my peace. Touch my body, eliminating every root of illness, every inflammation, every wear and tear, every fragility that tries to take hold. Allow divine healing to flow through my being like a continuous wave of light. There are times when I feel weak, Saint Carlo, and it is in those moments that I need you most. Because a weary soul sometimes cannot lift up its own prayers. Sometimes the heart, so heavy, is at a loss for words. But you know this kind of pain. You know how difficult it is when the body doesn't respond, when exhaustion tries to steal joy, when the soul struggles to keep believing. Therefore intercede for me now with even greater intensity, bringing to the Lord all that may be beyond my strength. I also ask you, Saint Carlo, to bring light to all situations involving my health, my path, my decisions, and even my relationships. Where there is confusion, let there be clarity. Where there is doubt, let there be direction. Where there is fear, let there be courage. Where there is closedness, let there be openness. Allow God's will to manifest fully, without obstacles, without interference, without delays. May everything that needs to move in the spiritual realm begin to move now, without resistance. May God's presence touch what doctors cannot explain, what tests cannot detect, what only heaven can understand. May the Lord look upon me with mercy as you, Saint Carlo, present every detail of my life with your pure and faithful heart. I trust that you carry to the Almighty not only my requests, but also my intentions, my hidden thoughts, my unspoken fears, my desires for healing that I keep deep within my soul. I know there are spiritual forces that try to discourage us, tire us, weaken us, make us believe that nothing will change. But today I renounce all that negativity, and I ask you, Saint Carlo, to cover me with the same spiritual strength that sustained you when you yourself faced physical pain and challenges that few understood. May the courage that existed within you overflow upon me. May the unwavering faith that guided you also guide me. May the love you had for God envelop me and transform me. Stay with me in this moment. Continue walking beside me as this prayer deepens. Do not allow anything, absolutely nothing, to interrupt what God is doing in me now. May each word spoken here continue to open paths, undo blockages, illuminate shadows, and prepare the ground for the miracle to come. I do not hasten heaven's timing, but I prepare my heart for what he desires to accomplish. Saint Carlo Acutis, as I remain in your presence, I feel my soul gradually calming down, as if it were being placed back in its rightful place. It is as if each word spoken in this prayer opens an inner door, and through that door the grace of God begins to enter, filling all that was previously empty or painful. I ask you to continue sustaining this opening within me, because there is still much that needs to be restored. I recognize that there are areas of my life that have become fragile due to neglect, excess weight, and accumulated fatigue over time. And often, I didn't even realize how much these wounds grew silently until they became almost a part of me. Today, however, through your intercession, I ask you to touch these areas with God's light, so that what has become accustomed to pain may now become accustomed to healing, so that what has become accustomed to fear may now become accustomed to the divine presence, so that what has become accustomed to scarcity may now become accustomed to the fullness of heaven. Saint Carlo, present to the Lord everything that I carry within me and that perhaps I still lack the courage to face. Sometimes the deepest wounds are those we hide from ourselves because it hurts to look at them. But I know that before God, nothing is a cause for shame. Everything can be healed, everything can be transformed, everything can be given new meaning. Therefore, I also surrender to you what I keep silent, what I carry in my soul without sharing it with anyone, what weighs on me in my loneliest moments. Intercede so that every cell in my body may now receive the vital energy of the Holy Spirit. Intercede so that every thought that weakens me may be replaced by the truth that comes from above. Intercede so that every shadow that tries to approach may be dispelled by the light of God. May my body be strengthened, may my mind be balanced, may my spirit be renewed. May I be enveloped by a mantle of protection that no evil can penetrate. Saint Carlo, you who lived with the simplicity of the saints, teach me also to trust with simplicity, to trust without demanding explanations, to trust without fear, to trust without limits, to trust as one who knows that God is always working, even when we don't see, even when we don't understand, even when it seems that nothing is happening. Place within me this firm trust, this tranquil faith, this silent certainty that sustains even in difficult days. I ask you to continue bringing heaven closer to my life. Continue opening invisible paths. Continue untying the spiritual knots that bind me. Continue dissolving all energy of illness, imbalance, and destruction. Continue bringing peace where there was unrest. Continue bringing strength where there was weakness. Continue bringing light where there was darkness. I surrender myself in this prayer like one who plunges into the river of grace, knowing that whoever enters this river does not leave the same way. Saint Carlo, stay with me. Do not let me be distracted from the divine presence. Do not let me doubt the work that God has already begun. Do not let me stray from the hope that is now beginning to be reborn. Walk with me through this sacred moment, guiding my soul to a place of deep healing, true rest, and complete renewal. Saint Carlo Acutis, stay with me as I continue to open my heart before the presence of God. As this prayer lengthens, I feel my soul sinking ever deeper into this place of surrender, where there is no resistance, only the truth of who I am and the hope of who I can be with divine grace. I come to you without masks, without defenses, without disguises. I come with my reality, just as it is, trusting that you welcome it with compassion. I ask that you intercede for everything that has weakened me over the days. There is accumulated weariness, emotions that cling to my chest, thoughts that repeat themselves as if seeking to distance me from peace. There are tensions that the body holds, wounds that the mind relives, fears that try to silently take hold. But today, in your luminous presence, I refuse to carry all this alone. I surrender each burden to you, asking that you present to the Lord that which within me needs urgent healing. If there is anything within me that is out of alignment, may it be brought back into order. If there is anything in my body that needs restoration, may the hand of God touch it with precision. If there are hidden pains, may they be illuminated and dissolved. If there are areas of my life where darkness has settled, may divine light take its place. No matter where the pain originates, I ask you, Saint Carlo, to go to it with your intercession, and ask for me what my lips cannot yet ask. I also entrust to you the situations that surround me. I entrust to you the worries of my family, the challenges of the people I love, the problems that try to multiply around me. There are issues I don't know how to resolve, conflicts I don't know how to face, circumstances that seem too big for me. Therefore I ask that you present everything to the Lord, so that he may intervene with wisdom, strength, and mercy. May nothing be without direction. May nothing remain without light. Saint Carlo, teach me to rest in God. Teach my heart to trust, even when my mind tries to occupy itself with fear. Teach my thoughts to surrender to the divine, even when they want to chase after worries that lead nowhere. I ask that you help me feel the divine presence as something real, close, and constant that envelops my being and calms everything that is still restless within me. If there are anxieties I haven't identified, heal them. If there are internal conflicts I've never been able to resolve, may they be dissolved by heavenly peace. If there are old guilts I still carry without realizing it, may they be purified and freed by God's mercy. If there are emotional wounds that have been ignored for too long, may they now be treated and transformed. I allow deep healing to happen even in the most hidden parts of my heart. I also ask for balance. May my body find balance. May my mind find balance. May my emotions find balance. May my spiritual life find stability. May everything that was out of place be realigned, harmonized, and strengthened by the divine presence. May I become an instrument of peace, even while awaiting the complete healing I am seeking. Saint Carlo, stay with me as this prayer deepens. Do not allow anything to interrupt what God is doing at this moment. May each word be another step towards restoration. May each breath be an invitation for the Holy Spirit to move within me. May each moment of this prayer be an open channel for miracles. I remain here, surrendered, silent within, listening only to the hope that is beginning to rekindle. Allow it to continue growing, because there is still much that needs to be transformed, touched, and renewed. Saint Carlo Acutis, as I continue in this prayer, I feel my heart becoming more sensitive to God's presence. Something is happening within me, something I cannot explain but which I recognize as true. It is as if a gentle light begins to shine in places where before there was only shadow, weariness, and worry. Allow this light to continue growing because it gives me strength, hope, and courage to persevere. I ask you to deeply intercede for everything that is still disordered within me. May divine grace touch my thoughts, especially those that insist on hurting, confusing, or destabilizing me. May all anxiety be dismantled. May all fear be silenced. May all insecurity be replaced by confidence, serenity, and faith. May I be able to breathe more easily, knowing that I am not alone in this battle. Saint Carlo, also look upon all external situations that affect my body and my peace. If there are illnesses, inflammations, persistent pains, imbalances, physical limitations, I ask that you present them to God with love. If there is extreme fatigue, lack of energy, discouragement, or symptoms that disturb my days and nights, I ask that you ask the Lord for healing, for complete restoration, for total renewal. May every cell of my body be illuminated. May every system be strengthened. May every weakened part be rebuilt by the divine hand. I also bring before you the relationships that influence my emotional health. I ask that the Lord heal old wounds, painful memories, traumas, losses, and everything I still carry with me as if it were an endless burden. I ask that you intercede so that my mind may be renewed, so that sadness may not find a permanent home, so that the emotional weight may not continue to drain my strength. May I find lightness. May I find peace. May I find that which only God can grant. Saint Carlo, I know that the path to healing is not always immediate, but I also know that every moment of faith opens space for God to move. Therefore, I ask that you walk with me day after day, step by step, without letting me give up. May I feel a sign each morning, however small, that heaven is working in my favor. May I perceive small improvements, small reliefs, small answers. May I not lose the ability to recognize the discrete miracles that reveal themselves little by little. Intercede also for my spiritual life. May I be able to hear God's voice more clearly. May I not stray from faith, even when the challenges seem too great. May my confidence not depend on circumstances, but on the certainty that there is a greater purpose guiding everything. May I have the courage to completely surrender control, letting God do what only He can do. Saint Carlo, stay with me even when my heart wavers. Stay when my strength wanes. Stay when I feel fear, doubt, or confusion. May your presence be like an outstretched hand, firm and full of light, guiding me back to the path of healing and hope. I ask that you be my ally in this battle, my constant intercessor, my spiritual friend, who presents every detail of my life to the merciful eyes of the Lord. I continue to surrender everything at God's feet through you. I surrender my expectations, my limitations, my fears, my pain, and also my hope. Because even tired, I still believe. Even wounded, I still seek. Even insecure, I still cry out. And I know that no sincere cry is ignored by heaven. Saint Carlo Acutis, as I remain in this surrender, I feel that my soul still has so much to say, so much to release, so much to transform. And that is why I continue here, insisting on the faith that sustains me, asking that you continue to intercede for me without ceasing. Many times, pain creates walls within us, walls that isolate us, that make us believe we are alone. Today, I ask you to tear down these walls, tear down every barrier that prevents me from fully receiving God's love and healing. There are feelings inside me that I don't always know how to deal with. There are anxieties that accumulate, thoughts that steal my peace, worries that repeat themselves day after day. There are deep fears that I don't confess to anyone, but that in your presence I don't need to hide. I surrender all of this to you now. I surrender to you the invisible, the unspeakable, what no one imagines I carry. I ask that you take to the Lord even that which I cannot understand within myself. Saint Carlo, intercede also for the areas of my life that have lost their shine, for the parts of my heart that have faded, for the dreams that have remained dormant within me. I ask that you touch those inner regions that need to be awakened again. May a new vitality arise. May renewed strength visit me. May a new spirit rise where today there is only weariness. I also ask that you visit everything that is deteriorating within me, the organs that need health, the muscles that need strength, the blood that needs balance, the nervous system that needs peace, the mind that needs clarity, the spirit that needs stability. May the light of God, through your intercession, begin to circulate through all of this, purifying, restoring, balancing, and strengthening every part of my being. Saint Carlo, I know you understand human suffering because you lived your youth with spiritual depth, but also with sensitivity to the world's pain. Therefore I ask you to look upon me with affection, with attention, with mercy. May you sustain me when my strength is low. May you protect me when I am vulnerable. May you guide me when my thoughts are confused. I ask that you stay by my side and not let me give up. Many times pain tries to convince me that there is no way out. Many times weariness tries to make me believe that everything will remain the same. But I choose to believe the opposite. I choose to believe that God still works miracles. I choose to believe that you, Saint Carlo, can intercede for me and open a path where today there is only doubt. I ask you to touch my story, touch what I have lived, what I am living, and what I will still live. Touch the roots that need to be uprooted, the fears that need to be faced, the blockages that need to be broken. May every affected area of my life be enveloped by divine presence. May every shadow receive light. May every wound receive healing. May every emptiness receive filling. I also ask for emotional strength. There are times when my mind is overwhelmed, when my feelings are confused, when my emotions seem greater than I can bear. I ask that you give me balance, serenity, and stability, that I may be able to breathe deeply when everything seems difficult, that I may be able to see beyond the problems, that I may be able to believe even when my eyes see no solution. Saint Carlo, I remain here before you, certain that this prayer is not being ignored. Heaven hears me, God sees me, and you intercede for me with love and compassion. May this intercession continue to deepen even further now, reaching places I didn't even know needed to be touched. Saint Carlo Acutis, stay here with me as I continue to open my soul before God. I feel that there is still much within me that needs to be touched, rearranged, lifted up, purified. There are parts of my heart that for a long time have remained hidden, as if they had been left behind amidst the chaos, pain, and rush of daily life. But today, through your intercession, I allow these parts to be exposed to the light. I allow everything to come to the surface, not to hurt me, but to finally be healed. I know that God doesn't forget any detail of my life. And I also know that He chooses intercessors like you who walk alongside those who need it most. Therefore, Saint Carlo, I ask you to take to Him each of my deepest needs, even those I cannot understand. I ask that you present my requests with the pure love that marked your life, so that the Lord may look upon me with even greater mercy. There are times when sadness tries to take hold of my heart, as if it owns it. There are days when emotional exhaustion feels heavier than any physical pain, and there are situations that make me wonder if everything will ever be all right again. But when I think of you, of your youthful faith, of your ability to see God in the little things, of your desire to illuminate the world, even in such a short time, my heart finds a thread of hope. And it is to this thread that I cling now, asking you to help me not let go. Intercede, Saint Carlo, for everything that has taken away my balance. If there are swellings, inflammations, persistent pains, recurring discomforts, take this before God and ask for the complete restoration of my body. If there are fears that steal my sleep, thoughts that wear me down, emotions that leave me weak, take all this to the Lord and ask Him to pour peace upon my mind. If there is spiritual weariness, a feeling of absence, a loss of direction, take my spirit into God's hands and ask Him to rekindle in me clarity, faith, and purpose. I deeply desire to feel the vigor of life again, the joy of waking up, the lightness of breathing without fear, the security of knowing I'm not alone. I long to feel my body responding with strength, my mind functioning in balance, my heart finding rest in the divine presence. And that is why I now cry out, with all the sincerity of my soul, for your intercession to open the paths to complete healing. Saint Carlo, I also surrender the situations around me that need intervention. I surrender people I love who are suffering. I surrender family problems that have been draining my energy. I surrender financial worries that weigh me down. I surrender important decisions I need to make that cause me anxiety. I surrender everything because I know I wasn't created to carry such heavy burdens alone. I ask that you present all these areas to the Lord and ask Him to shed light on each one of them. May He bring order where there is chaos. May He bring peace where there is conflict. May He bring clarity where there is confusion. May He bring abundance where there is lack. May He bring healing where there is pain. May he bring strength where there is weakness. Stay with me, Saint Carlo. I feel your presence gently yet firmly enveloping me. I feel that something has already begun to stir within me. I feel that heaven is attentive. I feel that God is listening. And so I remain here, surrendering myself even more to the grace that is being prepared for me. Saint Carlo Acutis, I remain in your presence, feeling something within me begin to move silently, yet powerfully. It is as if a gentle light is slowly moving through my thoughts, cleansing fears, dispelling anxieties, calming storms I was used to facing alone. And I know it is not my imagination. I know this peace originates from heaven. I know it is the fruit of your loving intercession, of this living bridge you build between my heart and the heart of God. I ask that you continue to touch the areas of my life that are still closed, hardened, locked by pain or insecurity. There are places within me that I needed to hide for fear of reliving memories, for fear of facing difficult truths, or for believing that there was no solution. Today I open these doors. Today I surrender all of this so that it may be healed, restored, purified, and transformed in the divine presence. Saint Carlo, gently guide me to these inner spaces so that the healing may be complete and true. I also bring to you all the names I carry in my heart. People for whom I pray, people who urgently need divine intervention, people who may be suffering in silence, dealing with invisible pains, unexpected illnesses, or challenges no one imagines. I ask that you extend your intercession to each of them now. May God's grace be poured out upon their homes, their bodies, their minds, their hearts. May each person I bring to mind at this moment be enveloped by the protection and light of the Almighty. Saint Carlo, I also place before you the spiritual battles that often weaken me. I ask that you break, with the authority God has granted you, every bond of negativity that tries to approach me. Undo thoughts that do not come from the Lord. Calm inner storms that arise without explanation. Dispel any shadow that tries to linger over my life. Allow the presence of God to become so strong within me that no darkness has room to remain. I know that healing is a process that involves mind, body, and soul. Therefore, I ask that you intercede in all these dimensions. I ask for mental clarity where there is confusion. I ask for emotional strength where there is fragility. I ask for spiritual balance where there is restlessness. I ask for physical health where there is pain. May every part of me be touched by divine grace in a complete and profound way. May the areas that have not yet responded with hope now begin to flourish, like dry land finally receiving the rain it has awaited for so long. Saint Carlo, continue walking beside me as I open my soul with all the sincerity I can muster. I ask that you take each phrase of this prayer before God as a pure, true plea, born from my heart. I thank you because I know you hear me, I know your compassion reaches me, and I know that everything you present to the Lord is received with kindness and mercy. Allow me to surrender even what I have not yet been able to name, so that nothing within me remains without the touch of divine healing. I remain here, available, open, ready to receive even more of this grace that is already beginning to work gently. I know that God always works, even when everything seems silent. I know that healing may be happening now as my soul exposes itself to the sacred. Therefore, I ask that you do not leave, Saint Carlo, and continue guiding each step of this prayer until I am ready to receive the complete miracle. As I stand before you, Saint Carlo Acutis, I feel as if inner layers are beginning to dissolve. Things that have been trapped inside me for so long are beginning to be released, as if divine light, through your intercession, is reaching hidden areas that I didn't even know needed healing. I ask that you remain by my side, and that each word spoken here be a seed of hope, each thought a step towards restoration, each breath a door that opens to God's grace. I surrender to you everything that wears me down. I surrender the emotional weight I keep in silence, the worries I hide so as not to worry anyone, the fears I carry so as not to appear weak. There are moments when the heart simply exhausts itself from trying to be strong, and today I admit that I need help. I ask that you, Saint Carlo, extend your spiritual hands over me and help me to remain firm, even when my strength wanes. It touches my mind deeply. May all confusion, anxiety, heaviness, or negativity be permeated by the light of the Holy Spirit. May my thoughts gain stability, serenity, and clarity. May unfounded fears be silenced. May worries about the future rest in God's hands, where all the answers already exist. May my breathing become light, my mind become clear, and my rest become possible. I also consecrate my body before you, Saint Carlo. Every organ, every system, every fiber, every cell. I surrender what hurts, what is inflamed, what is blocked, what is unbalanced. You understand human frailty because you lived with simplicity, authenticity, and purity. Intercede so that God may touch everything that needs repair. May my body function in harmony again. May my health be strengthened. May the life within me pulsate with energy and balance once more. I also bring my spiritual anxieties, those that no one understands, those that even I cannot explain. Periods of dejection, a feeling of emptiness, invisible battles, attacks that arise from nowhere. I ask that you place intense protection over me, like a luminous shield that repels everything that does not come from God. May no negative influence have access to me. May no dark energy find space. May no shadow be able to remain where the divine light now touches. Saint Carlo, ask that I may once again feel God's presence clearly. Sometimes the rhythm of the world, the inner noise, and the weight of the days blind us to the workings of heaven. I ask that you open my spiritual senses. May I perceive God's signs, recognize His answers, feel His care in the small things. May my faith be renewed, expanded, and strengthened. May it grow within me like an unquenchable flame. I place before you the people I love, every face, every name, every life. Those who are ill, those who need protection, those who are emotionally broken, those who face silent battles. I ask that the intercession that God pours out upon me also reach these dear ones, illuminating, strengthening, and healing each one of them. Saint Carlo Acutis, stay with me. Continue guiding this prayer. Continue touching the places that need healing. Continue removing what needs to leave my life. Continue bringing every grace that God wishes to grant. I remain in your presence, allowing the divine light to continue flowing through my being. I know there are still areas within me that need deep healing, and so I implore that your intercession not cease. There are old memories, hidden pains, veiled fears that still need to be reached by God's mercy. May your intercession carry this light to these hidden territories. I also ask that you look at everything around me. My home, my family, my relationships, my health, my internal and external struggles. Present all of this to the Lord so that no dimension of my life remains in the shadows. May everything be purified, balanced, restored, and illuminated by divine love. I ask for peace where there is confusion, for strength where there is exhaustion, for courage where fear still exists. Saint Carlo, you who lived such a pure faith, teach me to trust. Teach me to rest in God, even when everything seems uncertain. Help me to believe that the miracle has already begun, even if my eyes do not yet perceive it. Remove from me all doubt, all guilt, all anguish, every thought that tries to extinguish my hope. May my mind be bathed in peace, my heart renewed by faith, and my body strengthened by healing. I bring before you those who urgently need God's touch. Families, children, parents, friends, strangers who come to mind now. May each one receive a portion of the grace that is being released today. May no one be left without direction, strength, or support. If there is any spiritual burden upon me, any invisible battle, any attack I cannot detect, I ask that your protection cover me. May every bond be broken, may all evil be dissolved before it even touches me. May every barrier placed by the enemy be removed from my path. May the presence of God be a wall, shelter, and shield around me. Saint Carlo, at this moment I surrender myself completely to divine action, and I beg you to present to the Lord my most urgent request for healing, the one you know better than I. Take to the Creator every detail of what I carry in my heart. May God's will descend upon me like living waters, healing, restoring, transforming, and strengthening every aspect of my life. I believe, Saint Carlo, that the miracle has already begun. Perhaps not in the way I imagine, perhaps not at the pace I expect, but exactly as God knows it should be. I accept this healing. I receive this healing. I open myself to it. May the light that shone in your life also shine upon me now. May God's presence remain with me. May His love envelop me. May His mercy reach me. May His power restore me. And through your intercession, Saint Carlo Acutis, may I witness the grace that begins today. Amen. If you've stayed with me this far, understand, this is no coincidence. There is something greater guiding your journey, and this prayer has reached you because heaven has decided to touch you in a special way today. Each phrase you have heard was directed precisely to the area of your soul that most needs healing, answers, rest, and urgent miracles. Now I want you to participate in this sacred moment with me. Write your prayer request in the comments. Place there, with sincerity and faith, what you wish Saint Carlo Acutis to take directly to the heart of God. It doesn't matter if your request seems big, small, simple, or impossible. What matters is that you submit it. When you write, you declare to the spiritual world that you believe, that you trust, and that you are ready to receive. Don't hide your pain or your need. Bring it to light. God hears you. Saint Carlo hears you. And this community walks with you. And if there is someone in your life who is suffering, someone who needs healing, someone on the verge of collapse, share this video with that person. Sometimes the miracle they are waiting for begins like this, through a prayer sent with love. Don't keep this light to yourself. When you share faith, you spread hope. When you send this prayer, you open doors for others to receive blessings as well. Write your request. Share it with those who need it, and keep your heart open. Saint Carlo Acutis is listening to you right now at this very moment, and I deeply believe that something has already begun to move in your favor. Trust.